today. How are you? How's it going, Nuno?
It's going good, man. It's going good.
I
You
am.
always come up with this
Yeah, I
like
like radio. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I like. Hey, like that. I think there's that one with the. I can't remember the names, but they're just full of energy, and I like being full of energy. I had a really good experience today that I want to talk to you about. So the thing about Nuno and I is that we do a lot of different things all the time, and we're constantly working on different projects. We come together on a large majority of our projects, but sometimes we do projects on our own. And for a couple of years, I've been working with a Shopify website of a company that does animal healthcare products. They just sell online. I did a very simple Shopify site, but I needed to add a locations map on them. And usually when you add apps from Shopify to get any support, it's like you got to put up smoke signals, you got to fire a gun up in the air, you got to beg, and the support is, or you put in a ticket, and maybe in 2 weeks they'll think about talking to you. Well, today I had the most amazing experience, and I want to talk about how customer service is so important and how automation can really help with that, because I don't know how they got to me this quick. I had to install a map with all the locations, 843 locations on this website. And Shopify has so many location choices. It's ridiculous. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are zero. Some are $50 for 1,000 locations. This one was only $5.
But explain that to me. When you're talking about locations, you're talking about shop locations?
Yeah. So I'll show you the website. So this is a website. So we don't usually work on e-commerce stuff together. Sometimes we do, but this one was one that I had done a while back outside of working together. And this is the website. And we added a dealer locator to, I'm going to switch the way the screens look so you can see our faces bigger. I added a dealer locator, and this is the dealer locator. And this is where all of their products are housed. Very, very simple stuff. No, not simple stuff, but I mean, very important to their business. Okay. And this is a very simple dealer locator. So this is an app that we added to. So Shopify, if you don't know, and I use Shopify quite a bit, especially with one of our clients, Dr. Charles, has all these apps so you can add on to all these different things. And the people on, usually when you try to get one of these apps working, it's like I said, it's really awful. This time though, they had a WhatsApp communication, which I think set off a automation, because when I asked a question, how to put in where to put in the Google API, bang, it felt like ChatGTP. It was so fast, it freaked me out. I was like, oh, I'll put in a ticket. Maybe I'll hear from them next year, maybe by my kid's birthday, which is in July. June. I hope she's not watching. Anyway, oh, by the way, my daughter has been sharing our show to her friends in high school. So I know somebody's watching. Yes. Anyway.
We hope anyway.
And then you see all these dots that are on here, all these dots, they were showing black boxes, all these dots right here. All these little dots were showing black boxes. They literally were like, oh, you have a CSS issue. Here's the code on how to do it. So I'll show you that. I'll show you what, let me go to WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp on this is the conversation I had with them. It was so fast. Honestly, I was a little uncomfortable in how quickly it was.
You weren't expecting it.
I just, when you don't get good customer service and then you do get good customer service, it's unnerving. And, I don't know why, for some reason, I can't share. It's not allowing me to share WhatsApp. So anyway, they reacted to it and they were like, just please give us a review. And I was like, how can I help you? Thank you so much. Just give us a review. And I put up a review immediately. And you can talk to this a little bit, putting the widget on your website and having automations work like that, so it even feels super responsive, is so key to a business's growth, is so key to make a person feel happy. You're spending all this money on your project. You spend thousands of dollars to build this thing, and to hear back from somebody immediately that they're on it, even if it takes them 48 hours to work on it, but that they see it, It's huge. And you're always getting on me, and rightly so, to get back to the client, to email them immediately and sort of like that. And it's so important. And it made me feel so good. They just shot me the CSS code. They're like, oh, here's CSS code. Oh, no, they asked it. They said, no worries, just need to paste some CSS code in your theme. Thanks, I'll take a look. I will send you, English must not be their first language, but it doesn't matter. I will send, if you feel okay, you can see use. I was like, yes.
No, that's pretty good. But this is a big thing. Do you know that average time in any software right now for a customer to actually get a response is significant? It's like up to 24 to 48 hours. And a lot of them don't have live support. It's usually through chat. There is no phone numbers. I mean, if you go to Facebook, there is no number for Facebook. Anything goes down. I think I don't know if it was like, what was it, 2 months ago when I got banned for like 24 hours because I said,
my God, you were crying.
I know, and it was so funny. Like I'm not on social media for like posting stuff. I mean, my wife now is like taking over that part of my life where she's helping me with my social media management. But I do a lot of business on there. I communicate a lot with other individuals because that's our main kind of like where our groups are all in.
Stream.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, just try, like, you couldn't do anything. You were left at this void. You can send a support ticket. There is no helpline in some of these major channels. So think about that, right? So this is how, because mom and pop shops and a lot of businesses we deal with is like, how can we make our services better? How can we stand out? Look, just customer service alone is huge.
Yeah.
Now, our refrigerator just literally went out 3 days ago. To get an appliance repairman to show up in the house, this has been like an absolute nightmare. And I just go to and we immediately go to like the business we're in, right? Yeah. If we had just a person return the call and schedule the appointment,
that's all we need.
That's all we need. And we literally went to somebody else. Like we found the person with the most reviews, was really excited. Oh, the person's local. We dialed, we called 3 times, no calendar invite, no place to go. We'll get back to you later. Nobody gets, and yet we're without a refrigerator. So it was like stupid things like that.
Even if the repair is a week away, knowing that you could say to your wife, I took care of it, without her saying, did you take care of it? Did you take care of it? Did you take care of it? It's huge.
Well, it's even her taking care of it. And like, to be honest, there's nothing we can do. But it's the feeling of helplessness that really gets customers frustrated. And the fact that I'm seeking help and I don't know where to go. And that's a big thing. And like, this is why we're really big on the automations piece of it. You'll be surprised with a quick little text message or just a notification letting somebody know that you have it. It is a pretty big deal. And this is I get on all of our staff. It's not just me. I mean, I come from 14 years of banking industry of like doing customer service. And I can tell you the length of time it takes you to get back to a customer really does impact customer experience. Especially in a world where everything is instant. I mean, like I said, all we're looking for is an appointment and somebody coming in. Everybody else afterwards, I can care less, to your point, but I'm not even getting that.
It's so funny. You always talk about, and I think that it's so wonderful. You talk about the one guy that you helped with automation who, I think before we even met, who was a dietitian or a guy who did workouts. And that it made the person, and there's like, okay, today you're going to do, I don't know, squats, 25 squats, 10 push-ups or whatever like that. And the person felt like it was a real person. And
so the story goes on this one. We made this is going a couple of years back. I made an automation where it was through Facebook Messenger back when ManyChat was a thing. And then we were allowed to do past 24-hour messages and everything else. And the way it worked, this bot, this person would join this personal trainer's program, and once they joined the personal trainer's program, the bot would automatically activate. But it looked like it was them messaging, and it was literally like every day they were getting a message at a certain time of day, all random times. So it definitely looked very human. What did you eat today? Today's your first day. Add 10 push-ups to your workout today. It was all of this, and it went on for 160 days.
Oh my goodness.
The funniest part about it was like even on Sundays and Saturdays, and it was crazy because the reviews that people were leaving him. This guy's on my on my butt like every day. He's like, I've never met a personal trainer like this. He takes so much time and effort, and it was hilarious until I think somewhere along the line somebody figured out it was a bot, but it went on for. I say the average person probably figured out like close to the 90-day mark. but it was pretty hilarious. Like some of the responses back, some people were like, imagine you're getting a personal trainer, you hire him, and the next day, like every day after that, you're getting a message of like, do 25 more, do this, and what did you eat? And make sure to eat your vegetables today, and like all this other crazy stuff. It went on for 60 days. Like people came out of that program, man, like this is intense. But it was, and the reviews are great. But the point was, it was the instant and constant interaction that people were looking for. And it was really, I mean, we're about to go into the Marketer's Heart live event.
Yeah, Marketer's Heart's coming up. Big convention for FG people. It's probably one of the most, unfortunately, I can't go this year, but I will be there in spirit. And I'm really, I mean, you're going to be selling a course there, which I think is super, super exciting.
I don't know about selling. I mean, it's just a little tiny workshop that we're putting together. It's just on just some of these automations and all of that we have going on. But the one thing that I'll bring up to date that we created, Andy and I, along with the team, is we created this bot that is an event bot. And basically it helps people get to where they got to go. Ask for common things like Wi-Fi passwords. If you're in any conventions like we do, the one thing you're always searching for is a Wi-Fi password. It's either on a flyer, on a website, and versus you now text the number and you would type in Wi-Fi, you get the Wi-Fi code. Stupid little things like that. But last year, the average number of tickets, and we actually counted this, that bot processed was over 3,000.
Oh my goodness!
So think about in a week's time.
Just during the convention time.
During the entire convention time, 3,000 calls.
4 days. I think that was 4 days.
4 days in total. A lot of events. It was in Disney last year. This year is New Orleans. Very excited because Creole food is amazing. Probably going to come back like towns heavier. But going back to your whole, like, you started this, right? WhatsApp to a messenger that probably notified somebody and you got an immediate response. The bot was signifying the same thing. It helped eliminate over 3,000 calls that somebody would have to answer. It helped with an overall positive experience. And you and I were having some fun too. We were trolling customers, that were like,
yeah, they didn't realize that two mid-40s geeks were actually playing off as Gigi. They eventually figured out because they saw you were on stage and you were asking Gigi questions, and I was giggling in the back. And I think they figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny. But the point was, it did provide a really good, awesome experience. It got it to the point that everybody was just so happy that they were getting the instant response. This was Julie and Kathy's idea. They gave it a personality. They gave it a name. And the bot then took a form of its own. People asking for a swag for it. Like it was intense, but it goes to show you that the interaction and the immediate responses was a big
t-shirt for it.
This is why we're telling you automations and everybody's like freaking out about AI and all that. AI is here. I don't think you're going to be able to like unsee what we've seen with AI. I know a lot of people are back and forth with it. Doesn't matter. It really honestly
I'm very excited about it because the point is the instanticity. I think I'm inventing a word, but the instanticity.
I'm down with that word.
Of what we do, automations, AI, all that stuff. I mean, there's AI in some of these automations that are coming out and sort of like that, and being able to integrate that just means that people are going to be able to get their answers quicker. And in this world, it used to be, my wife is watching a show right now on Wells Fargo, and it would take 3 weeks to get a message across the country. And now think about it, it's instant. And if you don't have it immediately, it's like, when's it gonna happen? So I think I'm shaking my camera, but I think I'm amazed.
It was pretty cool.
I'm amazed at how quickly we can move on stuff, and we can get everybody excited and motivated and ready to do business. And I think if you are a business, if you're a small business and you're not on this bandwagon, if you're wondering why you're not getting the responses, or you've lost all your customers, or since COVID, since the pandemic, your business just hasn't been the same. It's because the world's changed. The world's changed, and you've got to get on the ball and you've got to get faster, because if you're not, you're going to be left behind.
Well, and if you really think about it, there's been kind of a weird acceleration thing. If you look like at a curve, right, you got to think about it, right? So 2020, right, that's the year of the pandemic, right? That accelerated us far into the future. I would say by 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it caused a lot of remote operations to just, things were always joking around. Companies were, I'll tell you from a corporate standpoint, there was always the corporate question: could our employees do the same work from home?
Right.
And then it went to like trying to figure it out over the next few years to, oh my God, it's here. We have to now like go remote, and there's no choice.
Right.
And then, so think about that acceleration time. It was probably 3 to 4 years out, and all of a sudden it hit the door March 1st. I'll never forget it, because literally I think I took over a full department, and then March 1st they were like, "Oh, you're going remote." And I was like, "What? I got to take all these people remote." But it accelerated the process, and then I think, and I like, and this is an analysis, it's an assumption. Think about it, right? If we excel in 2 to 3 years, I think it pushed AI.
Oh, 100%.
I think it pushed AI.
100%.
And now I think with AI, with the remote kind of opportunities and everything else, I think the like you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to adapt,
Adapt or die,
regardless
right?
if you agree with it or not. Like, again, there are some people out there that are really anti-AI, and like, hey, look, respect anything. It doesn't matter. You just have to know that you will probably compete at some point with some individual that is figuring it out and is doing it a little bit faster. Will your quality go away? Probably not. Will you always need a human behind it? And you do. But I think it's going to shift more where people are going to just become like experts in prompting the AI. I think that's the next evolution of like a marketer, like a professional promptologist or something.
Well, what's funny is that I'm coming out with a video soon on different prompts for real estate agents. But I did something that I never thought I would do, this weekend, that I have been holding off. I'm telling you, I've been waiting for. That's why I was like, I got to get online with Nuno today. On Sundays, Daddy's Day to cook. Sundays, Daddy's Day to cook. So I make dinner on Sundays, and everybody wanted a chicken pot pie, and I didn't. Yeah, I'm okay, but I need a recipe. You know what I mean? And I had to do all these things, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then if you go, God forbid, you go on Google and say chicken pot pie, and you look, there's thousands of chicken pot pie recipes. You go on any one of these blogs, and they tell you their life story, and then give you the recipe. And you're like, I just want to make the pot pie. My kids are screaming at me, but I got to read about how you were in Maine and you had a wonderful day. I don't care. I just want to make my pot pie. I went into ChatGTP. I swear. I typed in, how do I make a chicken pot pie? 10 steps. Bang, bang, bang. It came out pretty good. And then I wanted to put puff pastry that I bought from ShopRite. How long to cook puff pastry? I put it into Google Schmuck. I put it into Google. Puff pastry. Again, they're giving me how they went to France and their life story. Go to ChatGTP. How long do I put in? How long do I cook puff pastry? And literally one line. 10 minutes at 380 degrees. Bang. I was like,
yeah, but you went onto something. So you ever heard? I believe it's not Mark Twain. Einstein. And I think Mark Zuckerberg does the same exact thing, where they all wear the same exact shirt every day, and like when they go to work.
Yeah. Steve Jobs did the same thing.
Steve Jobs did it the same way. So it's
a black turtleneck,
whatever pants, and same shoes and everything else. The reason that is because of what, and obviously, and believe it or not, this is actually a corporate term that was out there. We had to there was a couple of analysis and case studies on this. It's called choice fatigue or a choice exhaustion or whatever it is. So their theory is that the less choices you have to make, the more efficient you are. That's why, again, the automations are so key, because there's no decision points. It's route tasks, meaning it's the same task over and over again, and it shoots over. Again, I think these are the two things that I think made the ChatGTP kind of blow up. And AI's been around for like 3 years, long time. I think the reason what it is, and I think you called it out, and actually it's a beautiful point. And now that you make me think about it, it's actually gonna really, you really put it into perspective. It eliminated two things: having to look through a bunch of choices, and the second thing, the prompting. Like, meaning, I ask you a question, you give me a result right back. I don't go to a Google where I have like 17 choices. No, I just want the best choice. I'll tell you what, I think for GTP4, which is already in the works, I think it's already out in beta or whatever it is now. It's at 2.5 now. I think it's the latest model. I think 4 is the next step. And I think I told you this, right? You know that it increments by hundreds of thousands, right?
No, you didn't tell me this.
Yeah. So right now, and this is the way you explained to me by a way smarter person than I am, that because it's a computer algorithm, the second you add you add another like data layer to it, it's exponentially grows. It doesn't grow like to
It
a
goes
point, like
underneath.
it just goes massive. It doesn't, it
Yeah.
goes like 100 to 1 million, like in
Wow.
growth and size and in like expertise and everything else. That's why AI is also ultimately the future of the way things are. But I will tell you, I think that the reason why, and again, it's not we're on the skippers. We're really not. We're still operating a business the same exact way. We're still doing the things that we do. We're just finding a lot of interest in it because we think it is the next big thing in the sense of the next evolution of where things are going. And I think the way it's being used, and it's not going to replace jobs, all that. I don't believe any of that crap. I
I
honestly
think it'll
believe
change
that.
jobs. I don't know about replace jobs.
Yeah.
Again, robots or anything in the past, it's not that it replaced jobs, it changed jobs.
Yeah, like even if you think about the automotive, it brings up a good example. Everybody thought they were going to be out of jobs. Now, were there as many? No, but there's still somebody's got to operate the machine, somebody's got to fix it. I'll tell you what, though, getting into robotics now for a future career in the future, like I'm prepping my son, man. He's learning
Yeah,
coding.
you got to prep the kids in this.
He's learning
Absolutely.
a little bit of robotics, like because that is who's going to repair the robots, who's going to repair all the automations, who's going to connect the automations to all this other stuff for the
So
AI, who's going to build the AI, who's going to build the prompts.
So don't tell Truman, my son, but I'm getting, so he's become a drummer and he loves to drum, but there's a couple parts he wants to buy online and they're exorbitant. And I'm like, we can print that out with a 3D printer. So guess what? I'm getting him soon, because the fact of the matter is again, it's about him learning that. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, my dad worked for Howard Savings Bank, which was an old bank in New Jersey that's since.
I actually remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad used to work security there. Not like he would install the lock. He was a locksmith, and he install and work on the safes and stuff like that. And he got a job in the mid '80s at a computer store and got me an Apple IIc. It's built my life.
Wow, that's dating yourself quite a bit there, man.
Yeah, I'm an old man. It built my career, though. I can still see it in my mind, but that is what he was like. I got to get, and he got that second job. He worked at the computer store. He bought that computer and quit the next day. But he wanted to get me that computer, and that's how he got it was like $3,000 in the mid '80s. So that's a lot of money. And you know what? It's built my life. So if I can give my kid a 3D printer or teach them automation, my daughter's using I can't say that because I don't want to get in trouble at school. But
it's probably already pretty live.
But the fact of the matter is, if I can show them these things, they're going to learn about it and they're going to take it into the future for themselves.
Well, and exactly that. So I think, like, going back to the point of the original kind of conversation, that one, you got exceptional customer service because of the speed of which you got it. Right. It was done kind of automation because somehow they got alerted that there was a message waiting for them that they chose to respond. They responded to you through the WhatsApp app. That makes sense.
And the first message you could kind of tell is an automation. It's totally the way I'm reading it. It's an automation, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that's a lot of the automations we build out is usually, hey, we just got your message. We're currently busy with other customers. It's the same thing back in the day when you picked up the phone and you got the busy signal. We got an answering machine. We're currently with other customers. It's the same exact thing, except now it leaves the open communication loop in. Regardless of which, point of the lesson here is for everybody that's watching is one, adding automation to your business would be probably one of the most important things that you could possibly do. Because of the speed to which you get to the customer and the way you can automate certain, routine tasks that are not going to go in there. We are going to have a workshop where it's going to be February 21st. We're finalizing the date now, where we're going to teach you at least Zapier. Zapier is like the tool that we use to automate anything outside of, like, let's say
Vines.
Yeah, and it connects two softwares. There's a lot of them out there. There's Pabbly, there's Make. We just find Zapier easiest to learn. So if you have a business out there and you're interested in doing it, definitely jump on this webinar because I think it's going to be very beneficial. It's 2 hours. If anybody's following us, we give a bunch of freebies. Like, it's well worth your time. We over deliver to a whole nother extent. And a lot of that stuff is already on our YouTube channel. We're just going to try to condense it down, answer all questions, like 30. I think we have 30 minutes up for open Q&A. Plus, there's a bunch of freebies. We're going to give our own shares apps out. which is all those apps that we've created over time that we've leveraged in other companies. So a lot of that's out there. And we're going to keep developing workshops for anybody that wants to learn any of this stuff. So be on the lookout. But the most important part, like I said before, if you're taking anything away from today, I love the example you brought in. I think it's quick access, automate like your customer experience and response. And then to your point, I mean, I think you actually called it out, and you made me think a little bit differently about it today. I think it was the prompting, and I think it was the lack of choices that the artificial intelligence is giving you. It's just saying, here it is.
Yeah. It's just like, I just want the answer. I don't want to have to read through a bunch of things. I don't want the BS. I'm calling it, I'm not going to use the full word because I don't want to get, our video taken down. But like when your kid tries to explain something to you that they did something wrong and they give you this whole long-winded thing, you're like, no. Just tell me why this thing is broken. And that's it. When you can get, Google's great. I love my Google. I can find a lot of my answers, but sometimes I just want the answer and I just want to move on with my life because I got things to do.
Yeah, that's right. But I think that's what it is. I think that's the kind of like universe we're about to step into that I already think we're already getting into. But like, I mean, watch everybody. I mean, like, we're not telling you like 3 predictions that I definitely say over the next 3 years is 1, artificial intelligence is definitely it's already here, but I think it's going to get even more involved now that all these people have been exposed to it. 9 million people have registered for ChatGTP. 9 million.
9 million.
9 million. Microsoft bought it, so they're going to get a paid pro version that is apparently going to have less lag. 9 million. So it's out there. It's exposed. Midjourney is the other thing that people are Stable Diffusion. Those are the 2. That's being exposed a lot because of ChatGTP, which has been great. So that's now out there and people are all over it. Augmented reality, I'm still placing bets on that. That's
coming next. And not only is that coming next, that's giving us the answers. I mean, imagine, Nuno, I want to talk about the augmented reality because it's going to be the combination of all of those things. Because what's going to happen is that I'm going to look at what I got to make for dinner, and on my glasses are going to have choices for what I'm going to make for dinner. And then I'm going to choose to make a chicken pot pie. And then I'm going to see it coming out on my glasses, exactly the recipe that I'm making as I'm cooking it.
I'll blow your mind even more. That's already, this is already where things are going. I was reading this crazy article. You're on your glasses using artificial intelligence like ChatGTP or Stable Diffusion. There's a couple of them that are out there now. You're going to talk to your glass saying, give me a pot pie recipe for a family of 4. Yeah. You will prompt it, give you one choice, and then the video will start playing of you how to make it right inside your glass.
And then I can pause it as I'm doing that thing. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Because you'll be able to say pause video, and then you're doing your thing cooking, resume video, boom, and you go to the next step. This is where it's going, and yeah, I mean, like, just let that sink in for a hot minute because that's where it's going, and you can't get away from it. And I think a lot of more remote opportunities are going to be advanced. But if I was going to put my money on my kids' education, robotics all the way, and RPA, which is robotic process automation, which is like doing very routine tasks or anything else. RPA, number 1, and followed by artificial intelligence, is coding in general. And then any kind of art, I still think even though art's being modified, you're still going to need somebody who's going to initiate the prompts, like the artist that's going to think of the idea of putting like things together or whatever else. That's going to grade all day. So prompting is going to be a skill set. I'm telling you, prompting.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I was just watching a video. We were probably watching the same videos because I think the thing I want to work on the course is a course on prompting because that's going to be the thing that everybody needs. You're going to need your little cards. You always have that little card of things, but having the prompts, knowing not only asking the question, but knowing how to ask the question to get the best result.
That's right.
That's where we're going.
Well, with
that's going to be a job. A prompt. Another word I'm coming up with. A promptologist.
I think a promptologist. That's
promptologist. No, just kidding. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize. I'm here all week.
That's funny. I think you'll prompt. I'm telling you, I think we should make sure to get on top of this and just all about the prompts.
Got prompts.
About the prompts.
Oh, I'm buying a domain name today. I'm buying a domain name today.
I think we should capitalize that before some other. Yeah.
Don't you go on Namecheap before I go on there, man. No freaking way.
With that being said, everyone, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully, you enjoy getting at least a little bit laughing along with us here, or laughing at us, one or the other. But with that being said, thank you, everybody, and we'll see